Hey, bro, I got your stupid crown. Oh, shit! Got 3,000, motherfucker. Treat? Treat? You are not an elf. You look like Auntie Ethel. Video. Are studios / publishers just dumb? The answer to that is yes and no. Some of them are not. But right now, you're probably thinking the vast majority of them are. And I wouldn't say you're wrong. So, smack. Let's just go ahead and start this. And pause that music. Baby girl Spotify always know what I want. And let's get to it.
Studios and publishers just dumb? So, let me look and see. So I've always thought that money dictates everything. However, looking at game studios and publishers recently, I'm questioning whether this is true anymore. So many AAA games come out pushing their political views, usually left-leaning. That's not true. They're always left-leaning. And gamers, time and time again, speak with their wallets, and these games flop hard, costing hundreds of millions of dollars for the studios and the publishers.
Okay, so part of the reason I would say that this keeps happening is because I think people are forgetting that video game development takes a long, it's a long process. Like, it's like 4 years. Let's say that. Let's just use 4 years as a example. So, when a video game comes out, they started making it 4 years ago. Like, sometimes it's longer, sometimes it's usually not shorter than that, but we're just using 4 years as an example. It's usually longer. It's fucking light. It's not tracking my face well. Fuck it. But yeah, it's usually longer. So they can't really course correct during. I mean, they can course correct during production, but if it's baked into what the game is, let's say Dragon Age the Veilguard, where they had already got Tosh in there, and she's a main plot point, a main character, you can't change that already. It's too late. The train is going. The train's already reached 100 miles an hour. You can't stop that shit on a dime and turn it. It's already on the rails. You can't. It's not possible. They're not doing that. So what I think is what's going to happen, we're still going to see more of these games coming out for a little bit longer. Let's say a few more years, couple more years. And then we're going to stop seeing them. Because the games that are being thought of and are starting development now probably have already caught on to this. And they're not going to do it. But for right now, yeah, we're probably still going to see a few more of these. I think the industry does understand, and that the people in the industry that don't understand it yet, well, it doesn't matter. They're losing money. Eventually, they're just going to be gone. So what this dude says here, we're voting with our wallets. Just keep doing that. Just keep doing that. They're going to go under. Ubisoft is going under because they decided to make shit games for so long, and nobody trusts them anymore. Just keep voting with your wallet. It's happening. You're not going to see an immediate effect here.
Publishers, logic would dictate that money at the top, people would say this isn't okay, you need to change and give players what they want. But that's the thing, they don't. At what point are studio heads going to wake up, get rid of they, them psychos, and who somehow got into positions of running studios, making key decisions, and start delivering games that make bank? So I'll tell you when. This happened kind of recently. So basically what it was is that there was a storyline that Disney had for one of their new movies, and it was
I know exactly what he's talking about.
Situation, right? And basically, Disney decided to take it out. They got rid of the trans storyline, and from the upcoming Pixar Win or Lose, yeah.
Yeah, see, I've seen that. Now, I'm not trans, so I can't exactly say if it's a really, really good depiction of what it's like to be in that situation. But I thought that it was very creative the way they did it and the way they had the character like glitching and shit in it. It's a shame that it got removed because of this, but it is what it is, man.
Disney is stirring controversy after deciding to edit out a transgender storyline from its animated series called Win or Lose. This series follows a middle school co-ed softball team in the lead up to a big game. The transgender character will remain in the show, but Disney has decided to remove several lines of dialogue that reference the character's gender identity. The company said it wants to allow
because the reason why is because it's very obvious that average people don't want to hear about transgender ideology being pushed on underage people. This is very obviously the majority opinion. Everybody can see this. The only people that can't see this are the people that are intentionally trying not to find it.
To discuss those topics with their children. The series is produced by Emeryville-based Pixar, a division of Disney.
They say Dixar?
And it's set to begin streaming in February. For more perspective, we're joined here this afternoon live by Dr. Sean Fletcher,
Okay,
professor of
forgetting all that other shit,
Pixar,
can I say how fucking tired I am of seeing this? Like, I didn't mean to act it out like that. Can I mention how tired I am of seeing like this art style, the fucking bean mouth, these legs, the way these hands. I'm just so tired of seeing this art style all the time, man. Like, there's nothing intrinsically wrong with it, but when they keep using it in every fucking thing, I'm just like, bro, get this shit out of my face already. I'm just tired of seeing it. Like, you can make make something original. Damn. Like, it can't be that hard, right? I'm not an artist, but it can't be that difficult. You don't have to default to this art style all the time, right? Or if you do have to default to a art style, it doesn't have to be this every single time.
To begin streaming in February. For more perspective, we're joined here this afternoon live by Dr. Sean Fletcher, a professor of public relations and sport communication at San Jose State University. Professor, it's good to see you. We appreciate the time. So let's start off with the overarching question here. What do you think prompted Disney to remove this dialogue about the transgender
what
teenager's
could possibly
gender identity?
be the reason?
What the fuck is this? What do you mean, what the fuck is this? Are studios/publishers just dumb? It's talking about how what I'm assuming this is talking about is how many games are like failing because studios and publishers aren't listening to the people that, you know, pay money for it. I'm bad at explaining, but that's what this video is about, is what I'm assuming. Oh, you watch Asmongold? Yeah, I watch it from time to time. I don't always watch him. Like, I don't really watch him for his video game streams, because he doesn't play a lot of games that I like, you know, to play or watch. Like, I'm not a WoW person. I mostly look at him for like video game news, and sometimes I like to look at his takes on politics, because he has a very I don't give a fuck attitude about politics in general. So when I hear what he says about it, I'm like, well, damn, that's the most nihilistic way you could ever put this situation. Like he says shit in a way that I'm like, damn, you don't give a fuck at all, do you? And I kind of sort of appreciate that, because when I'm on like Twitter and shit, people care so much to the point where I'm just like annoyed. But then he comes in and he's like, I don't give a fuck about this issue, but here's my opinion on it anyway. And I can appreciate that.
Well, I think that it would be hard to overlook the potential.
Like, right, this is about transgender stuff. I don't really care about that. It should be getting back to like video games and publishing later.
Undertones of this situation, because
being trans is absolutely a political issue. It 100% is. And even if you think it isn't fundamentally, it's been made into one.
Okay, I can...
Conservatives don't...
Yeah, like, being trans wasn't originally a political issue, I would say. But over the past few years, it has become one, whether you like it or not. It really shouldn't be, if you ask me. That should be a personal thing for people to deal with. I don't want to say on their own. But that should be more of a personal issue, not a political one.
Don't like trans, liberals like trans. That's it.
It really shouldn't be
When it
that way.
moves through production, I'm surprised that it moved this far in the process of production to where somehow, some way, someone had an awakening and decided to make this alteration in the script so late into production.
It's because people switched up on this really fast. That's the reason why. It's like, yeah, I mean, I'm not the only person that's seeing this shit, right? Like, people are switching up on this real quick.
They have
And
been.
I think they're going to keep going. Trump 1 is one.
See, the thing is, you can tell that the pendulum is swinging. It's swinging back to the right because it has been left for a good long, like past the past 10, 15 years. It's been pretty far left. Like now, the pendulum is going to swing back to the right, and it's going to go way too fucking far. Like, what I'm thinking is that we're gonna go back to like video games are the devil. Pokemon is the devil. Dungeons and Dragons, demons. That's what I'm thinking you're about to hop back to. Like all that fucking religious panic scare, all that shit. Like I feel like that's gonna make a big comeback. Like I don't want it to. I hope not, but yeah.
I think they're right. I mean, that probably is a big factor.
Seems to me from Bob Iger's Disney's lead that to do an about face feeling as though they don't want to move into politics is very different than what Disney and many of its subsidiaries have put out there in the animated space. So
well, that's because they never cared about it in the first place. All they care about politics as a advertising tool. If it was popular to advertise being racist, they would advertise being racist. A good example of that.
Exactly. Companies don't give a fuck about you. They give a fuck about your money. People need to. I do not understand why people don't get that. Holy shit! You scared the fuck out of me. I need to turn that shit down. We reached our follower goal, by the way. Follow goal met. 40 out of 40. Let's go. Yes! I appreciate that. You got us to our follower goal. I do not know how to pronounce your fucking name. Balix is no. I'm. How the fuck do you pronounce your name, dog? I'm gonna call you Bal. But again, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it.
That is Disney.
I lost my entire train of thought with that. You scared the shit out of me with that follow. What was I saying? I don't even fucking know.
Literally them. They're the example. Yeah, wow.
To me, that
they
this
already
issue
did. Exactly.
is completely getting caught up in what has now become a culture war related to transgender.
When I talk about anti-Semitic, Disney.
What is that? Is that like you on a different account or something, dude? That's cheating. You cheated. Why'd you cheat? I appreciate it anyway.
What we are talking about, we're talking about the real professional anti-Semitism.
Oh yeah, now that's racist. That's racist right there.
The whole thing.
That's racist.
It's not just like some kind of it's a joke or something like that. They're going whole hog.
Looney Tunes was crazy racist back in the day, like insanely.
Gender issues in society.
And what do you think Disney is worried about here? I mean, on the one hand, like you say, obviously this was approved at some point,
right.
and this was green lighted, and now a few years later, you have Disney clearly worried potentially about a backlash.
They're just worried about their money. That's it.
Exactly it. Because
it's just money.
Got changed. People changed their opinion. That's why. That's why you never use social issues to talk about things, like to advertise. It's because eventually people things turn around and they change, and then people hate you for it.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
and again, Bob Iger, in fairness, is the twice chairman of Disney now. and his predecessor, and they mentioned in the statement,
Yeah.
when the very popular Lightyear series
Hmm.
had a same-sex kiss, and many issues dealing with the LGBTQ plus community were spotlighted.
See, I really think the freak out overlap was overblown. I think, well, in general, I think freak out's overblown in general, just because I'm one of those people that does not give a fuck at all. Like, you bring up an issue, like a social issue, up to me, and I'm like, bro, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't give a damn. Like, give me my give me my job that gives me $10 an hour, and okay, like fuck off. I got bills to pay. I got other shit to do. Like, come on, man. Like, no, I'm not worrying about this. I'm not worrying about that either. Like, bro, what are you like? I used to work in a fucking tire plant, right? Like, most Republican place you could work is at a plant. And I had this one guy, he was like my mentor, I guess you could say, over there, as I was being a mechanic with him. And he would like just say like down low racist shit all the time. And I would just be like, okay, buddy, whatever. Like I don't have time or the patience for this type of shit. Like, these people exist, and you can either argue with them all the time, every day, for the rest of your fucking life, or however long you work at that job or live at this place, or you can just ignore them and move on with the rest of your life. Because, dog, life is too short to spend your time arguing with people that are not going to change their fucking opinion. Like, don't do it. I'm not going to do it. Like, it is what it is.
Lighted in some of these other animated films that they have put out. Now Bob Iger is on the scene in a very different social climate.
Well,
And
here's the big difference, though, right? Is like in Lightyear, what I remember, this I could be wrong, but this was two adults, right? So like one of them, it's like also, I think that average people get being gay, average people don't get being trans.
That
That's
is
the truth.
that is also
And
true.
so,
That is also pretty true. Like, it is far easier for the average person to understand what being gay is than it is to be trans. That, like, though, being gay and being trans are like two completely different things on the spectrum. Like, I can understand being gay. I'm not gay, but I understand. But I don't think I could ever really understand being trans. That's like a completely different life experience for a person. That doesn't mean that they don't deserve like the basic common fucking decency, because they do. They're still fucking people. Don't be an asshole just because you can. But yeah, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be harder for people to understand that than it is to understand being gay.
when you're talking about like if like gay is like a 2 out of 10 or a 3 out of 10 for those people, trans is like a 9. So like number 1, it's a much harder thing to sell people. Number 2, it's adults versus kids. Totally different situation. And also, even with that, a lot of people said, I'm not going to take my kid to see this. I don't want to take my kid to see some stuff about like gay people. I don't want to be part of this messaging. I don't want to listen to it. I don't want to hear about it. Get it out. And I saw so many posts about this whenever this movie came out. And I bet it probably did affect the sales. At least enough.
This might be a hot take right here, but I think in the past few years, like, the whole LGBTQ thing, this might sound really bad. I don't know, but I think they've conflated acceptance and tolerance. It's like, in a perfect world, yes, everybody would accept you and as you are, like being gay, lesbian, trans, and all that, but that's not the world we live in, and it's never going to be the world we live in. The best you can really hope for is tolerance. And that should be the goal. And I would say that before we were we were on our way there. we had a very good thing going with tolerance, but then some people got on the internet, started screeching crazy shit all the time, and now we have been set back like at least 20 fucking years on the issue. Like, this didn't need to happen, but it's that fucking minority that decided to be fucking crazy all the time that set us back like 20 fucking years. And the thing is, I don't know if the fucking left is ever going. No, they will. We will recover. The thing is, it's going to recover, but it's going to be at least a fucking decade now, dog. At least a decade, and that did not need to happen. If they had just reined in the crazies, we wouldn't be in this situation. But again, that's not the world we fucking live in. We live in this one, and we just gonna have to deal with the hand we've been dealt.
As a gay guy, there are no issues. Please stop talking about us. We just needed marriage rights. That's all. Bro, like, everybody that's normal knows that.
Yeah.
Really, everybody knows this. Like, look, nobody's blaming you because some weirdo is like trying to like push something on kids. Like, everybody knows it's not your fault. Like, let's be real.
Now it feels as though he wants to move away from challenging some of the societal ills and some of the issues that we still struggle.
No. He was saying he said what he was saying is he didn't like what he was trying to communicate. I think is that he didn't like how these different companies use his identity as a advertisement tool. That's it. He wasn't saying like he said he didn't like being used as an advertising tool. Like, that was, I think, what he was trying to get at. I don't think he was meaning that at me. What an idiot. Why, whoever say that? No, I mean, but like, as a gay, like, I could see, like, as a gay person, how this probably, I think that the amount of companies that do a lot of social messaging about like the gay issue or like trans issues or whatever, I do think that they have been a tremendous net negative for the movements themselves.
They have been.
Like,
what he's talking about is like the token gay guy. You know how in a bunch of recent, more newer shows, they have like the token gay character? Before it was a token gay character, it was a token black guy. Now it's the token gay black guy. And the token gay black guy is always like this nerdy dude wearing thick ass glasses with a fro. With a fade fro or some shit. Or that stupid ass, what do you call it? Comb over dread style hairstyle. It's always that. And it's so fucking annoying to see. Like, bro, as soon as you see that character, you know why they have been put there. And you can always tell because they do it all the time and they have them dressed the same way, talking the same way, every single time. It was easy to spot when they were just doing it for black people. It was easy to spot when they were doing it for gay people, and it's super easy to spot when they're doing it for gay black people. Like, do they think that we're all just fucking stereotypes all the time? Like, make this gay guy a gay guy, a person. Stop trying to make them this fucking amalgamation of every single other corporate entity gay that you've ever seen before. Like, it's so fucking stupid. Like, this is why people don't like it. Feels so fucking artificial.
Looking back on it and like thinking back on how things were in like 2016, 2014, 2010, I think that they have massively negatively impacted it.
They have.
Like the Bud Light stuff, etc. Yeah, what the fuck? No, you don't think so? I do think so. And the reason why is that I think like the idea of giving people equal rights and giving people like the privilege to be able to express themselves and love who they want, be who they want to be. I think this is a pure ideal. And what a company does when they come in and they co-opt that ideal is it's like imagine that you have like a clear glass of water and then you put 2 or 3 drops of food coloring in it. And that food coloring is Disney's anti-Semitism. It's Disney's long-standing issues that they've had with animators. And so you take a company that's had its own baggage, its own problems, and then it basically attaches itself onto a social issue like a parasite. And it is a parasite because it siphons out the goodwill and the lifeblood from this social issue to benefit itself while contributing nothing in any sort of material way towards the social issue. So they're actually hurting the social issues. They're making them worse. And I think that a lot of people that are gay, they see that. And they're like, this is not good. This is making things worse. I think that's what's happened. Again, this is my assessment of it. People are going to disagree. Sure. But this is what I think.
And now it feels as though he wants to
People get radicalized because
move
of
away
preaching. Yeah.
from challenging some of the societal.
Yeah. One of the worst things you can do to somebody that disagrees with you on a topic is preach to them. Actually, you know what? Not even for a person that disagrees with you on a topic. That's the worst thing you can do to any human being. Because intrinsically, human beings do not like being wrong. We can stand being wrong. We can be corrected at times, but we don't like it. So if you come in and start preaching to somebody, acting high and mighty, even from the start, even if you are right, even if you are correct about the issue, it won't matter because of the way you're trying to tell that to somebody. If you come off as rude, if you come off as condescending, if you come off as an asshole, they are not going to fucking listen to you. Period. Even if you're right, even if you're fucking right, they're not going to listen. Even if you think they should listen, that does not mean anything. Even if you think you're on the side of justice, it doesn't mean shit. If you talk to somebody in the wrong way, don't do that. Talk to them like a human being. Talk to them like you're in a conversation. Don't get absolutely fucking mental and angry with them if they disagree with you on something that's not really an issue for real.
Ills and some of the issues that we still struggle to come to terms with as a society, but also as parents, as we're leading our children through society right now. It feels as though he wants to now move things a bit back to center, and now all of a sudden just become based on entertainment, which that has not been their brand up until now.
All right. Speaking of Disney's explanation,
Totally
the company did say in a statement that when it comes to animated content for a younger audience, we recognize that many parents would prefer to discuss certain subjects with their children on their own terms and timeline. What's wrong with this notion that Disney just is saying they want to allow?
They're completely right. And I think this is a good idea. Like, the way that I've always looked at it is that the reason why it's important to let parents teach their kids this and teach kids this way after they learn about sexual education, it's the same reason why you learn about addition and subtraction before you learn about multiplication and division.
Yeah, that's the type of shit that makes a lot of sense.
Concepts that require a foundation of knowledge. So
it needs
if
a
you
baseline.
give people the knowledge without giving them the foundation to contextualize that knowledge with, I think that it can fuck people's heads up. Yeah, it confuses children. It does. There's a process in doing it. Like, this is, like, I actually do think that at a certain point, people should be educated that there are people that believe that they're transgender. They should be educated that there are people who are intersex. They should be educated that there are people who are gay. Because I think that, again, school is to prepare a person for the real world. And this is in the real world, and it's educational.
Yeah, right? That makes sense.
I'm not saying, like, you know, circle this box if you think you're trans. I'm saying to explain that this is something that some people deal with, right? Of course. Just as from an educational perspective.
Parents the ability to have these conversations with their kids on their own terms.
Is that the reason they removed it? It is indirectly. So the reason they removed it is because of the conclusion of the logic that I just used, because that's the way many parents feel.
That's absolutely fair. And if that is your creative and production edict, then again, I go back to what I said earlier. How does it move this far into the production process? How does it get greenlit to this extent?
It's crazy. We've been
to where you have
the video's almost over, and there has not been a whole lot about fucking publishers and shit. It was just like this little bit at the start, and the rest of this just been fucking Disney.
have transgender voice actress Chanel Stewart being told so late in the production process, almost on the eve of it airing.
Also,
It
as soon as
feels
this
as
video is done,
though
I gotta go use
something
the
else
restroom.
entered into this
That food went right through my body.
administrative management dialogue that moved them away from it. But it is absolutely, in fairness, that is a fair line to draw in terms of how cinema and how Hollywood plays their role in pushing issues that society has struggled to come to terms with.
He's
But again,
completely
you
right.
move very late into the process that peaked.
The reason why I think it happened really late into the process is that addressing these issues.
Ooh, I fucking lied. I gotta go now. I can't even pay attention to the video. Goodbye. I'll be right back. Jesus fucking Christ. My papers. Continue where we left off.
Issues systematically inside of a company probably has a negative chilling effect for anybody who goes against them. So the problem is that people like this, they like to hyperfixate on issues like this, and in the process of hyperfixating on issues like this, they will, like, you don't want to be the guy in the office who says, let's take out the transgender scene, because the people that wanted to put it in are going to call you a transphobe and complain to HR and try to get you fired. So the reason is that it's very hard to root this stuff out of different spaces because of how dangerous it can be for a person's career. And that's the reason why you're talking about toxic positivity. What I'm talking about is like the types of people that try to really push this, not all of them, of course, but there's enough of them to where nobody wants to be labeled that ism or that phobe that is going to cause them to lose a promotion or get fired or get alienated from the office culture even. So that's why they're afraid of it, and that's why they don't talk about it. And that's how these issues keep going and they keep happening. It's because they only really get stopped whenever they get to the very, very high executive level, because those people don't give a fuck. But you have to get really, really high up there.
Of course they don't give a fuck. They're the ones that decide whether they have jobs or not.
That's toxic
what
workspace,
potentially
though. I'm
may
just
be
telling you
an
what happened.
underlying issue that you're trying to deal with.
All right, we appreciate your perspective always. Dr. Sean Fletcher, San Jose State University.
Yep, there you go.
Thanks for the time.
Thank you.
Yeah, and like, I mean, you can also look at, yeah, I think the dialogue had to be cut to do some references that are way too adult for a family-friendly show. Yeah, exactly. And so I think this is really what happens with, yeah, this is Disney, right? And this is why it happens. It happens because of that chilling effect and how it affects everybody else that's around it. And like when they see it negatively affect them, they think to themselves, well, fuck that. I'm not going to do this anymore, right? I'm not going to take this risk. I'm not going to put myself in this position. And I think that's a smart thing to do in a lot of cases. Yeah, no one wants to be a martyr. Yeah,
Smart
exactly.
and fair.
Like, yeah, nobody wants to, like, because the thing is that a lot of people, this is one of the big problems, is that a lot of people who end up getting fired for something like this, their life is materially worse after it happens. So it's not like, you know, like what's Gina Carano doing nowadays? Not really a whole lot. And so people look at it and they see kind of what happens to other people and they don't want that to happen to them. They hire cheap workers too? Yeah, exactly. She works for Daily Wire? Exactly. Yeah, you get blacklisted. And so she's suing Disney? Yeah, but who knows if she's going to win or not. I'm
She ain't gonna win that
lawsuit.
lawsuit. She's not gonna win against Disney.
I highly doubt that she will win. But anyway, so that's the reason why they're quote dumb. It's because there's a chilling effect inside of the studios to not push back or criticize or even ask questions about this.